Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to another moment of coffee and the Word. I'm glad that you've joined me. And I'm reading from John chapter 12. 6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany. We already know right now Jesus is on his way to Jerusalem. It's Passover, which was not unusual, but this was a special Passover in that Jesus was going to be heading to the city where he would be crucified for the salvation of the world. But before he does, notice he doesn't run, he doesn't take shortcuts, he doesn't try to avoid what is ahead. But he stops in Bethany along the way to spend time and a meal with friends that he loved. Jesus came to Bethany where Lazarus lived, whom Jesus had raised from the dead. Here a dinner was given in Jesus' honor. Martha served, while Lazarus was among those reclining at the table with him. Then Mary took about a pint of pure nard, an expensive perfume. She poured it on Jesus' feet and wiped his feet with her hair, and the house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. Jesus enters the home, and the tradition was that there would be a servant who would clean the feet of the guests as they entered in. But here something unique happens. It's not a servant that bows down to clean Jesus' feet, but it's Mary and Martha, two sisters who loved Jesus with all their heart. Martha loved Jesus with her hands. Mary loved Jesus with her devotion in worship. And she presents a wonderful act of prophetic worship. She pours perfume, not Chanel No. 5, but a very rare, personal, expensive perfume that really should have been devoted for someone's death and burial. This was to be kept over time for a specific purpose. But she breaks this beautiful fragrance, pours it on Jesus' feet, wipes his feet with her hair, and the fragrance of the perfume fills the house. Everyone standing in amazement, but one person was indignant. One of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, who was later to betray him, objected, "Why wasn't this perfume sold and the money given to the poor? It was worth a year's wages." Why indeed? Why use this perfume? There were certainly other fragrances that she could have used that would not have cost near as much. But why? And why cause such a ruckus? You see, I believe Mary understood that if she was going to worship Jesus, she was going to worship him with the best that she had, in the best way she could. There were many things she could have done, many things she could have offered, but she offered Jesus the extravagance of her worship, the best that she had. Unfortunately, there are those who really don't understand what this worship thing's all about. They really don't understand. Judas obviously had another motive. Goes on to say that he did not say this because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief, and as keeper of the money bag, he used to keep himself to what was put into it. He had another agenda. Unfortunately, there are people even today who have a secondary agenda. Oh, they will come to church, they will sing the songs, they will pray, even raise their hands, but they're not looking to give to God as much as they're looking to get from God as much as they can. So Jesus immediately turns to both of them, rebuking one, yet blessing the other. "Leave her alone," Jesus replied. "It was intended that she would save this perfume for the day of my burial. You will always have the poor among you, but you will not always have me." Mary, I imagine, was her head bowed in shame and embarrassment. But Jesus gently and confidently affirms her worship of him, confirming that this wasn't just a beautiful act of love and worship, but it was prophetic worship because it was speaking of his impending crucifixion and death. Judas, on the other hand, was roundly rebuked because he had another agenda. So the question is, why are we worshiping? Why are you worshiping? Are you worshiping with the agenda to get what you can from God, to show him how much you love him? Or are you just worshiping him with what you have and giving the best that you can to say, Lord, I love you? Because that's all he asks for. He just wants you to know he loves you. And our response to him is simply, I love you in the best way we can. God bless. Have a great day and keep your cup full.